Peace, peace, peace to the black family. West Coast, stand up. South Central, stand up. But peace to the black family across the nation. Everybody that's been tapping in, etc., etc. It's been a minute since I've done a conversation or, upload or anything like that, a YouTube video or whatnot. Just me chopping it up with y'all. But I think I'm going to start doing it a little more often, interact with y'all more, and just have more discussions about the political state of Black Los Angeles. I don't want to focus on, celebrity gossip and all of that stuff, and I'm not really into all of that. There's enough people covering all of that, I suppose. So I just want to give a little recap of some of the things that have been going on lately in the Crenshaw district and, Los Angeles in general. As we all know, we had the King Parade recently, and it's a beautiful time, as it always is. The black family comes out in large numbers, and we have a good time. But as we also know, there's a level of riffraff every year. And basically, to not sugarcoat it, we know what it is. It's the gangbanging. And, you got certain hoods that meet up every year so they can have a Royal Rumble. I remember, was a time when niggas would just kind of go in the back of the buildings as to not disturb the families and as to, maybe not go to jail. But now, niggas are just fighting in front of the police. And not that we owe them no fucking respect, let me be clear, but I wouldn't commit a crime in front of them. That's all I'm saying. It's like an easy way to go to jail. I don't like jail. Anyway. So we all know, there was a few fights. But what I saw was the majority of those kids was not gangbanging. It wasn't gangbangers. They was just a large group of youth, a large group of black youth. That's what really was going on. And kids will be kids. If there's a fight, they're going to be, ooh, they're going to run to go see it. They're going to pull out their phones. They may egg it on, okay? They're going to egg it on. So they did, but that was pretty much all that it was. It was large groups of young people, teenagers, and LAPD apparently has a problem with large groups of teenagers, whether they're black teenagers, right? Because when the Mexicans do the takeovers, and that's who it be, I've been caught up in one of them, and I didn't see a black person out there. Okay? It don't be all this police presence when it's 100 Mexican youth. All right? But when it's a large numbers of black youth, we got 10 helicopters hovering over the neighborhood all day. We got overseers on horseback trying to intimidate the people, leaving horse shit behind in our community. So what I saw was large groups of young kids with nothing to do. That's what I saw. Now, I've discussed this with a few people in the community. Some that day, some are parents. They feel that it's a huge lack of parenting. That's been the larger conversation is that, all these kids are outside. Where's their parents? Do their parents even know where they're at? There was a time when of a certain generation, I guess, I'm looking at the comments, they like, I couldn't be outside and my mama didn't know where I was at. I think that since the kids got phones now, the parents kind of feel like they know where their kids is at. They'll drop the location. So we didn't have cell phone attachment. We was latchkey kids. So, our mamas really had to kind of know where we was at actually. We didn't have cell phones and all that shit, and our parents could, get a location and just know where we was at by our cell phone. So I think the technology has gotten parents more lazy to where they don't feel like they have to watch their kids so closely because their location can be tracked on the cell phone. But we all know that it does start in the household. So apparently there needs to be a bigger conversation addressed towards parents that are of a certain age group. I guess these parents that are kind of younger parents nowadays, maybe in their early 30s, you know, going into the early 40s, and these are the new parents, or even the early 40s now are the grandparents. So, you know, we saw it in Chicago. Ain't no way in the world I would have had the nerve to hit an adult, to fight an adult and that appeared to be pregnant. On top of that, that was egregious. I mean, and so that had to put it in perspective to where we have allowed our children to go. It's reality TV being played out in real time. All this Bad Girl Club shit. Thanks a lot, Mona Scott. Thanks a lot, VH1. You know what I'm saying? But this started before that. Jerry Springer, Ricky Lake, all that fighting on them talk shows. That was the beginning of it. And now here we are, the real world. Fast forward, Bad Girls Club, the Zeus Network, all this crap that's celebrating black degeneracy. Cardi B represent black degeneracy. Sexy Red represent black degeneracy. Nothing really positive or anything that you would want your daughter to be. I wouldn't think. I wouldn't want my niece acting like that. But anyway, okay, so beside the complaining and pointing out all the problems, which we know are there, we know some of the parenting is whack. Some of the parents are not going to be accountable. They're on the cell phone. They're distracted. The kids are raising themselves. Maybe some of them kids don't have a certain family structure, okay? My resolution, or my idea, I ain't gonna say I got all the answers. My idea is, you know, kind of piggybacking off of what they did one Juneteenth, where they basically, it was so simple. They gave all them kids water guns and super soakers, and the problems were minimal that year. And that was at a Juneteenth. And that was the year after they bum rushed the McDonald's and they fucked up the McDonald's. Okay? This past year, Juneteenth, 7-Eleven decided that they wanted to be closed. So I think they got bum rushed and now they moved out of the community. But see, these businesses, these foreigners, they got to understand how to respect the black community. Respect the black community and we'll respect you back. It's not cool when you want to be closed and you don't want to let nobody in the store. You don't want to let nobody in the gas station because you're fucking scared. If you're scared, go to church. Don't come to the hood and try to make money. It's a 7-Eleven over 43rd and Crenshaw, like I said, got shut down, went out of business, moved out the neighborhood because they scary. And that's what I want all scary foreigner businesses to do. If you're scared of black people, you want us to put our backpack down and you want to follow us through the store, nah, we ain't going for none of that shit. Anyway, in addition, so back to my point. My thinking is these kids, these teenagers, they need something designated to do. Some designated recreation, leisure, even a big old speaker. Some music would have changed the vibe out there. Something that simple. All them kids all they would have did is start clown dancing and shit. I've seen it before. When Tommy the Clown come out there and shit, and the vibe is on some dancing and they having fun, that's what they end up doing. When they don't got nothing to do, that's when we find them problems. But to be direct, we know the hoods that's involved with it. Every year, it's the jungles, it's the 30s and the 40s. Every fucking year. Let's be real about it. So those neighborhoods need to address their youngsters about fucking up a parade with our great leader's name on it. Take that shit in the back. Go squabble behind the apartments like y'all used to do. But now everybody want clout. You want to be on the internet. You want to do it for the TikTok. You know what I'm saying? You want to do it for the gram. And that shit ain't cool. Y'all young people got to understand that filming yourselves doing a crime is absolutely foolish. And you're going to go to jail. And jail is not fun unless you're gay. Even I don't want to be in jail with a bunch of bitches. Because it's cold and dirty and funky and nasty. Can't even wash your ass when you want to in jail. Yeah, go find out. Anyway, the kids need something to do. I would like to talk to Heather Hutt, the city officials, to designate a portion of the village. Designate some activities for the young people. Personally, I'll go as far as to say, anybody that's with the unity, if your hood is with unity, the Bloods and the Crips need to be in the parade. The Bloods and the Crips are a part of the city. They come to the parade anyway. So let them be in it. Get their ass a big old float and let the red and the blue make some green. Let the hoods that want to get along, the hoods that already got solidarity, let them be the first to represent. I remember I ran into my homegirls from A-Tray. They was in the club with the Inglewood families. They had on red dresses. I was like, oh shit. And they some stomped down A-Tray Crippin'. You know what I'm saying? Some girls that I know. One of them, rest in peace now. Rest in peace, my homegirl, Georgia. They killed her in the Linwood Women's Jail. Okay? Let's be clear about that. Rest in peace to my homegirl, Georgia, from A-Tray. The Linwood Women's Jail killed her. And we need to look into that. I don't know where her family stands on that, but that was some time ago. But that's why it's dangerous to be putting yourself in a position to go to jail or to be calling 911 on another black person. Because once we get in them detention centers, you don't know what's going to happen. And speaking of a detention center, hey, this whole ICE thing, I live in LA. I don't see nothing happening. Go look on Vermont and Slauson. I don't see ICE doing a goddamn thing. MacArthur Park is back cracking. MacArthur Park looked like the Carter at night. The abandoned Yoshinoya is an open air drug market. It's just like Skid Row. And that's why Karen Bass ain't getting reelected. Karen Bass walked through the parade with nothing but Mexicans. And all she do is pander to the Latino community. And that's cool for her if that's what she want to do. But all these black elected officials are ignoring their black constituency, and they gonna pay the price for it. Y'all seen the video of me talking to Sade Elawari. She wouldn't say the word reparations to save her life. Then one of her little minions try to put the hands on me, you know what I mean? I didn't appreciate that. Of course, I'm not gonna start nothing at the King Parade like that, nothing. I'm not gonna get physical with no young person. The girl was young, but that ain't the point. It's like, don't be touching me though. Because all I'm doing is talking to this elected official. She out here with the public. She's going to get questioned. And our big concern right now with the California Legislative Black Caucus is reparations. And she wouldn't say it for 2 minutes. She put the mic behind her back and said, I don't know what I'm allowed to say. Like, what the fuck you mean you don't know what you're allowed to say? That said a lot. She's a puppet. And she don't know what she's allowed to say. So you think she gonna fight for reparations for us? An Egyptian, half Guatemalan, who looked like a Hispanic woman to me when I got close up on her. Because we know that the Egyptians of today ain't the real Egyptians. They Arab invaders. That's why when you go over there and look at the pyramids, everybody light skinned as fuck. Be like, wait a minute. Hold up. I thought the Egyptians was black like me. Anyway. Bloods and Crips need to be in the parade officially with an official float. Those that are with the unity and with the peace. Those that's not, go in the back of the building and keep on fighting and keep going to jail. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be able to politicize all of our family, all our peoples. We know that some people, even the OGs, they're not with the peace. 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 This is the only lifestyle they've ever known. And this is their identity, and they thrive on drama and bullshit. And, they live for genocide, I guess. I don't know. But that's self-destructive behavior, and we got to realize it and admit it. We admit it in little pockets when we want to do little truces and be like, yeah, we do need to get our shit together. Or when niggas go to the penitentiary, then niggas understand, oh, we got to be black. Why do it take for you to go to the pen to realize that the Mexicans hate you, the Aryan nation hates you, Asians and Indians gonna join up with them other motherfuckers, or they not gonna have your back. Why do it take for us to go to the penitentiary and catch a whole felony record and make your life harder to realize that you gotta be black first? Shout out to Glasses, but you not a Crip first, nigga, you black first. You became a Crip. You became everything else you are. You was born your race and your gender, and that's it. Even gay motherfuckers, I was born gay. I don't know. You don't know. We don't remember shit from when we was born. You became gay. You became a Crip. You became a bootlick and sellout motherfucker like Obama. you was molded into that. You know what I'm saying? You was only born your race and your gender. That's the only thing you really was born. And I'm not finna change my race or my gender. So I'm born a black woman and I'm gonna die a black woman. And on that note, we got the homegirl. You know, I got love for Tish Hyman. If y'all seen that clip a couple months ago, she got kicked out the gym in Beverly Hills. You know, trying to exercise with white folks. I guess that's what happens. Because it was a dude in the locker room with his dick out, talking about he identifies as a woman. Now, come on now. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm not playing them games. If you got testicles, you was born with testicles and a penis, your ass is a man. Okay? If you got breasts and you was born with a uterus and ovaries and you got a vagina and a clitoris, your ass is a woman. And you're not finna stand in my face with double D titties telling me you identify as a man and I gotta go along with it. I'm not. What happened to being proud of being a woman even if you was gay? I'm proud to be a woman. I don't want to be a filthy ass nigga. I'm just kidding, but I don't want to be providing and protecting. That shit sounds too hard. I'm gonna leave that to y'all. That's y'all's job. Because every time I need something heavy carried, I'm calling you. I'm a damsel in distress. Okay? Bring it back. Bring it back. But anyway, after that, Tish was galvanized. She went on Fox News. You know, she was fired up about, you know, claiming womanhood back. You know what I mean? And I agree with her on that. But now she's running for mayor. And after that whole incident, she went in a room full of white folks and met with Scott Wiener, who's a pedophile protector, a dude, you know, assemblyman up in Sacramento. Scott Wiener, look him up. Scott Wiener is a pedophile protector. He's a gay man. I believe that he's a groomer and that type of gay that is into kids and, you know, into caping for pedophiles. And, well, you know, if you like children, it's just, that's a new sexual orientation. That's not a sickness. It's a sexual orientation. He one of them people. So she went in a room full of them and they laughed her up out the fucking room. Tish got laughed up out the room. Nobody was listening to her because you cannot appeal to the moral compass of people with no morals. Okay? And that's what we do when we go and begging white folks to have a heart that they don't have. You know what I'm saying? So now, anyway, she's running against Karen Bass, and that's cool. But her angle is white Republican talking points. She want to go sit down with Megyn Kelly and shit like that. And they'll smile and laugh at her because, for the moment, because, you know, they're against trans and certain things too in the Republican Party. But they're not pro-black. They're not pro-reparations. And I told Tish on X, on Twitter, if you ain't talking reparations, black people is not finna back you. And that go for everybody running for a government position. You know what I'm saying? And as of now, my brother Billion, my good brother Billion godson, William Campbell, is running for the 55th Assembly seat because we got to get Lion Bryan the fuck out of that seat. The whole California Legislative Black Caucus is full of shit. And we saw it with Sade Elawari on King Day as I pressed her and she refused to say the word reparations. She wouldn't even say the word. So you think she gonna do something about it? Hell no. That's our answer right there. The proof is in the pudding. We don't need no more proof. So we need Billion Godson to get into that seat. We're going to be outside collecting signatures so that we can make sure that he gets on that ballot. Other than that, we're going to have to pay to play, which we're going to get him on that ballot no matter what we got to do. But we want to get it legit. We want to get it out the mud. We want to get it from the people because we want to talk to the people and let y'all understand who this is. A lot of times we go to the polls, y'all, and we just see a couple of names and we be like, Yang or Jackson? I'm going to go with Jackson. That sound black. Like, and I voted like that in the past. You know what I'm saying? I really wasn't familiar with all the candidates. So I'm like, shit, this name sound black. Or I see the little shit in the mail. I see a black face and I'm like, fuck it. I'm going with the black person. Because they must be better than the white person. They must have my interests. They must have my interests at heart. They must. That was our thinking with Obama. But see, it's a new day. We didn't let Kamala slide with that bullshit. We didn't let her come in on the same type of time that we let Obama in on. You know, I voted for Obama the first time. We did a commercial for Obama, rapping. We did a rap cipher commercial for Obama that was aired in the Bay, and it was played, the audio was played on KMEL. It was a real commercial. I participated in it. In 2008, you know what I'm saying, believing in the first black president. But I damn sure will. I'll do a diss record on Obama at this point. You know what I'm saying? I could not fuck with Obama for many reasons, but he's a warmonger for one. But also, what took the cake was him trying to recapture Assata Shakur. Like, that was just, no. All bad for me. So, and Obama realized he lost his pull with the black community throughout his 2 terms when he didn't do shit for us. And then he come out trying to cape for Kamala and Hillary, and, you know, he sees that his shit is falling on deaf ears, and his clout, his community cachet is gone. You know, with the chance we tried to give him, he proved himself to be the tragic mulatto that some people said that he was from the jump. You know, but a lot of us wanted to go in and, you know, take our chances on him. And we did that, and we seen what happened. Anyway. So this, you know, part of my thinking is, you know, for the young people out here in Los Angeles, first of all, we need to talk to them, see what they're interested in doing. You know, I would just ask them straight out. After the parade is over and you outside all day, you ain't got nothing to do, what would you like to do? You know, maybe some of the schools are willing to open up their PE yard, their basketball courts. Maybe there could be something official held at Audubon. Maybe there can be something official held at Dorsey on the football field, Rancho Cienega Park. Something official, an official after party for the King Parade, other than the vendors in the marketplace in Leimert, because teenagers, that's not appealing to teenagers. So let me go shop with the vendors. They don't got no money. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't what they want to do. They want to party, they want to dance, they want to play sports, you know, and that's just a few of my guesses. I'm not a teenager at this point. I know a lot of the teenagers, they are on social media. They are doing content. So maybe we can cater to the technological advances that have taken place in society and, you know, say, hey, this is a tech summit for teens. Hey, come learn how to do your podcast over here. There's an academy around here where they can go learn how to do AI, learn the cutting edge technology. But there is one. I'm gonna drop one on y'all on Gage and Avalon, where the Beehive is at. The Beehive, and there's an institute over there. It's for young inner city black kids, whoever. It's a facility. It's basically a cybersecurity school. My brother graduated from the program. It's on Gage and Avalon at the Beehive. At the Beehive and Gage and Avalon in that long alley. That's where you can find one of those types of things that I'm talking about. But I'm talking about specific to the Crenshaw district where the King Parade is held. What can we do to engage these youth after the parade is over and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids outside? And that seems to be such a scary sight to the LAPD with all their horses, all their guns, and all their weaponry. They're deathly afraid of large numbers of black teenagers who, the majority of them are not gang members, okay? I was there, I was looking at them. A lot of them are gang members, but the majority are not. The majority of them kids are just kids out there, you know, being kids. So, it still was a blessed time. You know, Black Los Angeles showed up and showed out. But truth be told, A lot of the family that's at the parade and that come to Taste of Soul, they're not even from LA, or they're not living in LA anymore. And I found that out when we was collecting the signatures for Billion, because we have to have people that are in the, in the 55th district. And, a lot of people told me, I'm from Bakersfield. I'm in Lancaster now. I'm coming from, people are coming from far and wide. The black family is coming from far and wide now, where, some years ago, prior to gentrification and prior to the numbers of immigrants negatively impacting us, like it has at this point, the parade was a local thing. People just fell out their house and come on King Boulevard and set up, So, yeah, but let me see. I'm gonna go to some of the Twitter feedback. Shout out to Dimitri K, African Diaspora News Channel. Shout out to Thought Crimes. Shout out to Dewan B. Everybody that's in the black media. I don't know this dude, but shout out to Professor Black Truth. I'm listening to him on a regular basis. Jason Black. Shout out to Tariq. He brought a facility to the community, the Hidden History Museum. That's right in my community. I'm from the Jefferson Park community. So, that's a nice thing to have in the community. See our elders, our great thinkers, and our great leaders up on the wall, memorialized for the black kids to see when they walk by, for all to see, that greatness that we brought. And that's, I'm gonna go to my Twitter feedback. But that's some of my big problem with, some of these people in Lamert, in Africatown, such as Cafe Aura, Tony Jolly to be exact. This dude who likes to call himself Prophet, undercover DL nigga, last name Walker. They're erasing the cultural imagery out of Africatown. Okay? Hot and Cool Cafe, Aura Cafe, Tony Jolly made a decision for the whole community to erase that mural, to whitewash the mural. The wall is white now. It's just a white wall now. They erased the mural with our great leaders on it. A humongous mural of Patrice Lumumba. They just erased it and painted the wall white. On People's Street, Heather Hutt, what's going on with this? We kind of fuck with you, Heather Hutt, but why are you allowing for only Mexican crews to come in Africatown to do the construction? Okay? And furthermore, why are we taking up the cultural art pieces that were placed on the sidewalk only in 2021 and 2022? People's Street in front of the Vision Theater, that was just repaved. It was just repaved. It was just repaved. And it had the Odinka symbols in the street. And we had African symbology all up and down Degnan and the sidewalk. And I was wondering, like, why are they coming over here digging up the sidewalk again? Because it just got done. So you got 100% Mexican crews coming over to Africatown, erasing black cultural symbolism in Africatown. That's what's going on. They're trying to whitewash it. Hot and Cool had a completely African aesthetic on the inside at one point. Now it looked like somewhere, it looked like a goddamn Starbucks on the inside. And that's what they want. And every time you see a bunch of white people and a bunch of Asians and a whole bunch of other motherfuckers coming in Africatown, they're all going into Cafe Aura with Tony Jolly sellout tether from Washington, D.C. by way of Africa ass. Tony Jolly and Cafe Aura need to go. They need to be boycotted the fuck out of the community. Lore Bookstore, the bike shop, all you niggas is tethers. The bike shop nigga is not from America. He's Caribbean. Tony is not American. He got some other kind of background too. And he's a Sunni Muslim from Washington, D.C. This nigga got 5 identities. Swear you love me though. I'm like, how the fuck you love me? I can't stand you. And you know it. So if y'all wondering about the gentrification that's taking place in Leimert Park, I'm going to tell you who's the ringleaders of it. Mark Bradford, James Burks, Johnny Raines, Soul Folks, that nigga with the last name Walker, who's only moving for profit. Okay, half-breed nigga from Watts, who think the 40s is going to help him. He think the 40s is going to save him. Just like Isaac Bryan. Isaac Bryan, you think the show lines give a fuck about you, nigga? Are you crazy? They'll rob your ass and extort your ass on a heartbeat too. Isaac Bryan walking with a nigga from Pyru and with my homie Mun from 40s. The 40s ain't gonna protect you motherfuckers. Ain't nobody from the streets gonna protect y'all once they really realize what y'all is about. Because all y'all do is try to use them and pacify them anyway so they don't hurt you. But they all wake up and realize they was getting used and pushed out their community. Yeah. We need to really have a better understanding with those people who are new to our community. All right, all them niggas is new merchants over there too. They new to the hood. And they not from our community. So, I've been saying, or I need to have a grand closing. Or I need a grand closing. Cafe, or I need a grand closing. But, it's other businesses that need a more urgent grand closing. Like the Slauson Swap Meet. Fuck they airbrushing all they khakis and their hats and their cheap ass, fake ass jewelry up in there. Fuck that place. Over 30, 40 years, you ain't seen but 1 or 2 black vendors in the whole fucking Slauson Swap Meet. The Muslims press their line and sell bean pies and shit in there. And then it's like a prison visit trying to go in that motherfucker. I just seen it taking somebody up there, dropping somebody off as a goddamn metal detector and all kind of shit. That's crazy. That's how I go to show you I ain't set foot in that motherfucking years. I don't even know what you got to do to get in there, but I seen it. It's like going through TSA to get into a goddamn raggedy ass Korean on swap meet. Are you crazy? You niggas is that desperate for some cheap gold and a baseball hat and a dead homie airbrush t-shirt? That's what we need to do. We just somebody black need to open up a swap meet with khakis and airbrush. And that's it. And all the gangbangers will go there. Every hat, every ghetto, every gang hat, every hood hat. Don't forget that. And some greasy ass chili in the back and an icy. Because that's healthy for you. Yeah, but let me see. We're gonna go to the Twitter because I got quite a bit of new Twitter followers yesterday. I guess just based on that video of me talking with Sade Elawari. Most of the feedback is good. I think it's 1 or 2 people trying to troll, saying that I was a Pan-Africanist and that I'm a liar because I'm Pan-African. And that I had Pan-African in my bio. Actually I've never ever had the words Pan-African in nothing. But I'm not against the philosophy of Pan-Africanism, just to be clear. And I'm also not against the talking points of delineation, just to be clear. I think they're both valid. I think that Pan-Africanism, we tried that. And it hasn't worked to our liking. It hasn't been effective as we thought it might be. As Black Americans, we figured, the diaspora was coming over. Cool, we can link up. We can link up with the Jamaicans. We can link up with the Belizeans. We can link up with the Ethiopians. We can link up with the Kenyans, the Ugandans, the Ghanaians that's here. It's a lot of Africans in America, you know, but the hand has not been extended back to us. And I can say that is, you know, I've had some good individual interactions with, you know, some Africans or with some Caribbeans. But for the most part, it is true. They don't fuck with us. They don't fuck with us. They don't even go to church with us. They don't do nothing with us. When we have our Black American events, we don't see the Eritreans come out deep. The Habesha people come out deep, and the Orthodox Church come out deep and support our causes, or none of that. They don't fuck with Black American shit. We don't see no gang of Africans that taste the soul. We don't. We don't see a whole bunch of Jamaicans and Belizeans at Black American events. We don't. So, now we see them copying us, though. We see them trying to be like Black Americans. So that's the whole thing. I don't got to reiterate it to go down the rabbit hole of, you know, Pan-Africanism versus delineation. I just want to be clear that I never had Pan-Africanism, or that I was a Pan-Africanist in my bio, like somebody said I did, you know, on Twitter. And then start calling me a liar and writing in all caps and all this shit. So I figured they must have been a troll. It was a Russian bot. It was a Russian bot. That's what it was. But shout out to the people that's on the front lines. You know what I mean? A lot of people could sit up with Twitter fingers. And, you know, I'm really not that super active on Twitter. I'm most active on Instagram. I'm completely off of Facebook. I'm probably still got a profile, but I don't even use it. I ain't been on Facebook in like probably 2 years. I'm just kind of over it. I will probably address YouTube a little bit more, as I see that seems to be an effective tool to outreach to our people. It also can be a tool for us to raise funds for some of our causes, not to line our own pockets at all. I'm not a clout chaser. I'm not a person always asking for no donations. I've never set up a GoFundMe in my life for none of my personal expenses or anything like that. You know, I've been through a number of challenges in my life, and I haven't had to yet, you know, reach out to the larger community to help me financially. So if I ever did, you know, get to the point of, you know, whatever they do on YouTube or super chats or people give donations or whatever, you know, it's not to enrich myself. I do understand that streaming is a big thing now and all of that, but, you know, we don't do this for the clout. We do this to get the information out. We do this to get the information out, not for clout, not for a pat on the back. You know, you see, I'm just chilling in the crib. You know, I ain't all made up and glammed up in the studio, and, you know, it ain't about that. It's about the information. I could do all that, I'm sure, you know, but, you know. So anyway, shout out to the people that's on the front line, though. CJ, my sister Friday Jones, my sister Tiffany, Camila Moore, Chris Lodgson, Double R, Tyreek, all the family up in the Sacramento area, Billy and God's son, Kevin Warden Price, my brother Raymond, my brother Zeno, my brother Steven, brother Richard, Abron, you know, the whole crew, brother Chairman Fred Hampton, you know what I'm saying, out there in Chicago holding it down. He comes and taps in with us out here in LA on a regular basis, and we chop it up and we kick it, you know, and we compare notes on what's going on. Boots on the ground in Chicago. You know, I talked to brother Chairman Fred Hampton directly about the mayor of Chicago. He told me, for the most part, although we see a lot of clips of the mayor of Chicago, you know, speaking to the Latino constituency and caping for ICE and all of that, good brother Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. told me that for the most part, Black Chicago is okay with their mayor. So, you know, having said that, I'm not going to ride too hard on the mayor of Chicago because I don't live in that city. I'm going to focus on Karen Bass, you know, right here, because I know what the fuck she's doing and ain't doing. She's only pandering to the Latino community. She marched through the King Parade with only Mexicans. That's what she did. That's what the fuck she did. So we got Holly Mitchell out there. You know, Holly Mitchell is cool. You know, she all right. She helped them get back Bruce's Beach. But Holly Mitchell think that that's all she got to do. You know, she tried to reprimand us last year, telling us, basically try to call us politically ignorant, as if we don't know an assemblyman from a council person from a senator. Okay? because we were talking to her about reparations, and she basically like, well, I'm a senator, you know, I did my thing already. You need to talk to your assemblyman, you know, learn your government. We know our levels of government, ma'am. Don't ever insult our intelligence. And that's why we're being blocked at every turn, it seems, because our message is effective. People do listen to us. Meaning the black grassroots, not us as individuals. I mean the black grassroots as a collective. And the collective conversation is right now, we're putting ourselves first. We're not worried about ICE. Because some white woman got the treatment that black people been getting. Anything ICE is doing, the police already did it to us. The police already went door to door during the crack era. Kicking down doors for nothing. Ransacking people's house with the batter ram. Remember that? Yeah. They do stop and frisk on us whenever they want to. On the east side, especially notorious for it. Lift up your shirt. Just pulling up on niggas. Let me see your tattoos. Just harassing motherfuckers. But see, we gotta also understand that that's not normal, and we don't have to accept that behavior. We do not have to accept that behavior. But a lot of people, you know, we got criminal background. We might got something on us. We feeling like, oh, we a little bit dirty. So we got to go on and take this harassment because, all right, we know we could catch this other charge if they really want to trip. You know, well, I do got crack in my pocket, you know. So let me go on and let this nigga harass me and my friends because, you know, I do got this crack in my pocket. I do got this pistol on me, so I got to take this treatment. You know what I mean? But so I get that, but that's where we got to clean up our own act sometimes, you know, so that we can stand on business. How we need to. We could be legit. And we don't got to be like, well, I can't say nothing because I got a record. So what? You know what I mean? We still got to stand on business. You know? I ain't got the cleanest fucking background. I ain't no hella felon though either. But, you know, most of my stuff ain't, you know, I've been on probation a time or two for misdemeanor shit that's all long behind me at this point. So I understand walking on them eggshells. You know, I get it. And some people got different circumstances. Some people got, you know, mandatory minimums if they do the wrong thing. 10-year mandatory minimum. So I understand. You don't want to get mixed up in certain things. But the thing is, we're under attack no matter what our status. From doctors and lawyers to the bougiest bougie black person to the most ghetto nigga. It doesn't matter. Your skin is your sin. It's not your title. It's not about class. Now, class and money and access gives you certain privileges, but the ultimate privilege in this society is to be white. And unless you're a light-skinned Hispanic who can be white adjacent and pass for white and change your name, you know, like Marco Rubio, even though it still sounds Spanish, duh. Marco Rubio still sounds Spanish, but you know what I'm saying. You got your Cubans like that, like a lot of the Cubans in Miami that want to be white. You know, we black. We can't change all the bleaching cream in the world. Ain't gonna change the way that we're seen in this society as black people. So we might as well embrace it. We might as well embrace it. And a lot of these people that's really caping for ICE, unfortunately, a good handful of are, you know, what we call a tragic mulatto. You're torn down the middle. And I guess I understand. But, you know, I see a clip just now of a black dude waving a Mexican flag. Disgusting, inappropriate behavior. Because they would never wave a RBG flag like that. I ain't never seen a Mexican waving an African flag ever. I just haven't seen it. Please show it to me. Please find me a clip. I haven't seen it. They very much la raza. They're very, very much la raza. I saw a van in LA. It said Asian and Hispanic groceries delivered. Asian and Hispanic groceries delivered. What about black people groceries? Asians and Hispanics eat that much different from black folks? I mean, we all eat chicken. We all cook with onions and bell peppers and shit. And garlic. The fuck is Asian groceries? The fuck is Hispanic groceries? You see? But they're not afraid to claim something that's only for them. We're the only ones kicking this black and brown conversation, and I'm so fucking sick of it. Yeah, there is no alliance. There is no black and brown alliance. There is no black and brown alliance. If there is, let the brown people show their alliance to us. Y'all get out there on the front lines for us and fight for reparations for us. That's what the fuck the brown community can do to prove theyself to the black community. See, a lot of people didn't like when we bum rushed that black women for illness. I call them black women for illness because they sit up at their table and drink Coca-Cola. How the fuck are you black women for wellness and your table and you drinking Coca-Cola? You need some youth juice in your life. And don't none of them look well. Black women for illness. Okay, they had an event in the community in Africatown. And they brought all these Hispanic organizations over there talking about black and brown, this and that. We bum rushed that shit and made them start talking about reparations. And they changed the chant. They said, reparations now, reparations now, reparations now. We got it on video, so we finna see. We gonna go back to them same organizations that was there that day clapping and chanting reparations now. We gonna see if y'all really mean it. Another time, they come over there, Community Build, with Robert Saucedo, fake preaching ass, who ran Aki Bamboo out of the community, our beloved Jamaican restaurant that everybody wanted to see stay in the community. Robert Saucedo is to thanks for that. He's to thank for that. Robert Saucedo, pork chop preacher, pimpin' preacher, Robert Saucedo of Community Build, Community Snake, Community Eel. Another one. He's another one. Just like Mark Bradford, who owns Art and Practice. Y'all got to look up these names. Look up these people who are helping to gentrify your community. Okay, I tell people all the time, if we allow this to happen, Africatown, aka Lamert Park, will turn into Central Park. We all know Central Park was Seneca Village. It was a black community. Now it's a park for white women to walk their dogs in New York City. Central Park was a black village called Seneca Village. And from what I see that's going on in Africatown, and with motherfuckers like Cafe Aura and Ride On and Soul Folks and Lore and Art and Practice and whatever the fuck that nigga with the last name Walker for profit is trying to do on that corner, and they bringing in Beyonce's mama, they bringing in black elitists, they bringing in black elitists who ain't from the city. They from Houston and New Orleans and wherever else the fuck they from. They coming into the Crenshaw community and putting they bougie hands all over it. Well, if it ain't no Lamert in the next couple of years, we know who to thank. It wasn't because people like me didn't ring the alarm. It won't be for that reason. It's going to be because we had too many black people that was willing to go along to get along and ignore the true culprits of this egregious behavior. And I've confronted these people directly, and they told me straight up, oh, we need white people over here. We need their money. They're going to make it better. That's what that motherfucker Walker told me. He told me and Kevin Warden Price to our face. Because we was on his ass one day. He said, what have I done to you guys? What did I do? Nigga was damn near crying. Nigga voice was shaking and shit. He said, we need them. We need them to come over here. He really believed that. They think white ice is colder. The nigga that owns the Barbara Morrison Theater. It's a black man, and God rest Barbara Morrison's soul. I loved her. She kept jazz music alive. Jazz is black music. That's a black music genre that was also hijacked by motherfuckers like Kenny G in the mainstream all in the 90s. Jazz is a black creation, just like hip-hop is. Just like blues, just like gospel, just like all American music, just about. It's black. It's black music. Even folk music with the banjo, that's our shit too. Y'all stole that too. Zydeco, that's our shit too. Shout out to Dewan B. That's good music history. Crack my shit. But yeah. So, you know, whenever gentrification takes place, make no mistake, there's always niggas behind the scene helping it. It's always niggas behind the scenes helping it. And I just told y'all some of the names, some of the players. I think that, you know, when they did that, you know, art and practice, they had my picture up in that museum of theirs in Africatown. It was, you know, they did a hip hop exhibit up in there. And that's all well and cool. But I feel like they did that on purpose. Because of all people, you know, it had a pretty large picture of me up in there. And they had other people in there too. But they had my picture like in a certain spot, kind of like by itself. And, you know, yeah, okay, the ego